What's the unintentionally funniest thing you've ever heard a child say? Had a friend who transported goods for a pharmaceutical company. He jokingly referred to it as delivering drugs in front of his 4-year-old nephew. One day, the friend was supposed to pick his nephew up from daycare. His caretaker asked him conversationally what his uncle did for a living. Of course, the kid spouts off that his uncle sold drugs for a living. This did not go over well with the caretaker. She proceeded to call the mother, who burst out laughing before she could explain. I'm a mailman, and one day a little girl came to the door to get the mail. She looked up at me with a big smile and said, "Thank you, whaleman." I spent the rest of the day thinking about how much more interesting of a job that would be. We were bringing lunch to the teachers at school and my daughter announced that we made a special soup for Mr. S because he's a virgin. Mr. S is a vegan. At the zoo watching a rhino and a young family is next to me. Out of the blue the rhino got an erection, something brought to my attention by the young boy yelling, "Whoa, look at his wiener. Is yours that big, daddy?" The father turned bright red while the mother laughed her a off. Family went to Olive Garden restaurant. Waitress delivers the obligatory bowl of salad with the salad tongs. I proceed to start mixing up the salad with the tongs. My 4-year-old daughter sits up and stares into the bowl and then looks up at me and asks, "What are you looking for?" One little girl asked her friend, "Does your mom have a baby in her belly?" The woman was quite overweight. The kid says, "Oh, there's every possible thing in there." Sorry, it's hard to get it across in English, but it was hilarious. My 7-year-old son slept on the top bunk of a bed with his brother down below. He's a bit of a tank and was hitting around 28 kilograms. One night he asked me to put him to bed, and I said, "Mate, you're getting really heavy. I'm not sure that I can lift you all the way up that high anymore." He looked me straight in the eye and said that you just need to believe in yourself. Me, how old do you think grandpa is? 5 years old. Nephew, 12. Me, no, he's actually 62. Nephew, ooh, he's going to die soon. 3-year-old girl on a airplane loudly announced, "My daddy left me and mommy, and I don't know where he went." Then she pointed to her mom's tummy and told everyone there is a baby in there too. The mom had to remind her to tell the rest of the story, that daddy had taken another plane to a different city for work, but would be meeting up with them in a few days on their family vacation. I was a single mom to a 6-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son, and I was going to buy them treats from an ice cream truck. I gave them limited options due to the prices, and as we walked away my son asked why. My little mini me launched into a story about how we need to be grateful for the blessings we have. Then she said, "Some kids don't even have toys. Some kids don't have anything to play with except their own bodies." I once heard my son, who just watched the old Star Wars series, ask my grandfather, British World War II vet, what side he fought on in the war, and my grandfather responded with the Empire. My kid cried for days because he thought his great-grandfather fought for the Galactic Empire. I work as a preschool teacher, so I hear all kinds of hilarious things. Just last week, we were reading The Little Red Hen, and I asked what a hen was, indicating the picture. One of my kids shouts out, "Chicken," and then another raises his arms and yells, "We kill chickens." It was so hard to keep a straight face. My all-time favorite, I'm working with a younger age group, coloring a project, when all of the sudden one of the kids jumps up, grabs his butt and utters, "I got ash." After taking him to the bathroom, we talked about how there are better words to say for poop. When my daughter was almost 2, she learned the word juice, and it became her favorite word. She didn't always nail the pronunciation, but she was damn proud of herself every time she said it. One Sunday, after church, I was holding her on my hip, having a conversation with the pastor, whom everyone in my family and half the church didn't like at all. So my kid, wide-eyed and excited to show off her new word, pointed at the pastor and said juice. Only it came out douche. I swear, I nearly died trying not to laugh out loud right there. That's the day my 20-month-old became my hero. Son's name is Skylar, daughter is 6 years old, wife was going back to college and we were talking about scholarships, and we notice that our daughter is crying. I mean she's wailing and sobbing. After we get her calmed down we ask her what's wrong. She says she doesn't want us to send Skylar to the moon. What the F? Why would we do that? We ask. She responds, why else would you need a Skylar ship? Towards the very end of Sunday service for my religion, everyone in standing in a quiet last moments of prayer. Suddenly we hear this tiny 4-year-old voice start saying loudly choo choo I'm a train as he runs around in between all the people. It was hilarious. I was explaining to my 4-year-old son what muscles are and asked him to look at my biceps. He said hold on, I need to go get my magnifying glass. I didn't even know what to say, and my wife is still laughing about it. My kid and me, after a large blowout I had with my ex-wife over something stupid, our 2 daughters heard my ex unloading on about how she hates me and how terrible I am, and I knew when she gets like that I have to walk away. She would say some pretty cutting things. Anyways I'm angry, and I go sit on the couch in the living room with the lights off. My 4-year-old walks up to me. Dad, no one likes you. Heh. Yeah. I gathered. Thanks. Mommy doesn't like you. I don't like you. Helen, 1.5 years old, doesn't like you. Yeah thanks. Hahaha. I played a joke on you. I'm kidding. I don't know what Helen thinks. I worked as a teacher's assistant for a year and I have a weird last name, so I got the kids to call me Mr. A if they couldn't pronounce it, but some kids still tried to say their interpretation of my name. One of the kids said, Mr. A? I'm gonna start calling you Mr. Avocado. Because I can't remember your last name, and I don't like avocado. I could tell hundreds of stories from my camp counselor days, 10 years ago or so, but one that will always stick out was when I had a group of 6 to 8-year-olds on an exploration hike decently far into the woods, and one of the boys told me he needed to go to the bathroom. Okay, Trevor, I asked, do you know how to go to the bathroom outside? Questioning whether or not he understood to do his business out of view from the rest of the group, on a tree or something. Yeah, he assured me. While walking away, I just take my peanuts out and go. Couldn't argue with his answer. I used to work in a preschool, and a little boy heard me say that one of my friends was visiting Baltimore. The kid immediately gasped and went, you aren't supposed to say his name. He thought that Voldemort was named Baltimore, and was horrified that someone I knew was visiting he who must not be named. I didn't correct him.